I'm Kev.
And I'm Steve.
And we're from the internet.
Want to get every episode of We're From The Internet at least a day earlier than the iTunes and Stitcher folk? Head over to we'refromtheinternet.com/pledge to support us on Patreon, and as well as early access, we'll throw in an exclusive weekly show just for our patrons too.
How long before I have to take the batteries out of this thing or, smash it to pieces?
What is it?
That was so weird. I don't know how to answer that.
First, is you talking about the toy or the kid? Because that don't smash children to pieces. That's we've gone like 50 odd episodes without trying to preach at you and teach you anything. This is the first time we're going to set out a We're From The Internet rule. Don't smash up your kids. That is, take that as
pretty
gospel.
Reasonable, but I imagine there's loads of people that are going, preachy. Well, they've all switched off now.
Well, what are you going to do? We can have that put on T-shirts. We're From The Internet say, don't smash up your kids. That's the sort of T-shirt that's going to go viral. People will be wearing that in nightclubs and whatnot. It'll be the new Frankie Says Relax. Don't smash up your kids.
Yeah. We could just do our range of self-help book T-shirts.
We could. Was that a bop it? Is that what that was?
I don't know what that was. It was just weird noises. I actually thought you played the wrong file at first. I was just kind of sat here thinking...
Well, that file was from my personal collection. A small baby laughing at a toy that I listen to at those moments when I feel ever so alone.
Yeah.
Nowhere else to turn in this world. I need to cheer myself up by listening to a chuckling baby and a bop it.
My house is full of toys that have had the batteries taken out of them.
It doesn't always work, though. The worst thing with children's toys that make noise is when the batteries start to run down, and it's a toy that's been put at the back of their wardrobe or something, or it's under the bed. You're not sure exactly where it is. For about 9 months, somewhere in this house, there was a train. And every few hours...
Ghost train.
Every few hours, it would just go... Choo-choo, and that would be it. And so it didn't ever go on for long enough for us to find out exactly where it was. It wasn't quite annoying enough for us to turn the whole house over looking for it. But sometimes you'd be just lying down in bed getting ready to go to sleep, and it'd just be choo-choo, choo-choo.
You sure it wasn't like a ringtone someone's got?
Positive. But it was... I imagine it's because it was just... I can only assume it was just running out of batteries, or perhaps it was motion sensitive or something. It was when you'd bang on the floor and it would set it off. Eventually, a few years ago, we cleared out the children's bedrooms. We chucked a load of stuff in a skip on the garage. I don't remember chucking a train into this skip, but just as the skip was being put onto the back of the truck, I heard it again. For the first time in like 2 years. It was so weird.
So the ghost is gone.
The ghost, it's in a skip. Yeah, I don't know that there ever was a train, but whatever was making the train noise is now long gone. If we were to look at it from the toy's point of view, a la Toy Story, I imagine that was one of the saddest days in the toys of this house. The day the teddy bear that can do impressions was taken away in the back of a skip.
We've got this in the night garden table that we got when my daughter was little, and it's recently, I don't know where it was, but it's been discovered somewhere in the house, and now my son keeps turning it on. And he doesn't really do anything after he turns it on, but when he turns it on, it always goes, hello, and it sounds exactly like my wife. So I'm always like, all right, like thinking she's calling down the stairs. If I've just come home from work or something and I hear that go off, I'm like, hello, and then realise it's not her, it's the toy. And my son has a knack of playing it exactly when I'm walking in.
That probably doesn't freak you out quite so much as my cat's bowl did. Around about the time when I first met Anna and I was starting to spend more time in Nottingham, so I was leaving my cat at home alone for a day or two, I thought, right, after a few weeks of this, I probably shouldn't leave him to starve to death. I need a solution. So I got a fancy bowl that you put like 6 days worth of food in, and it rotates on a timer, and when it rotates to bring out that day's food, it plays a pre-recorded message. So at 6 o'clock every day, it would just go, Charlie, dinner! And sometimes when I wasn't over in Nottingham, And I was just sat there again at home by myself, listening to babies chuckle, having a little cry that I was all alone in the world. I just hear myself calling out to a cat, offering it some dinner, and the cat would just sit there and look at me.
Like what?
So I'm not impressed. Yes, you can throw your voice. Big deal. The food will still be there in an hour. Carry on stroking me, or I'll bite you. And that was the story of my life for one long summer.
So that would freak me out a bit, I think. There's a book my daughter has where we record the words to it. I told her a story, and I think I hate the way I said the first line, but there'll be times when that falls open, and it's just like, I can't remember what the story's called. It's something about Santa. But I just start reading a story out loud in the middle of the room at night time.
Does such a thing exist? Do books have sounds in them these days?
Well, it was my nan got it for her. It's like you basically, me and my wife had to sit there and read the story out into a microphone in the book, and then then we click a little switch, and then when my daughter reads the book, it opens and we start reading it to her.
So for parents who can't be bothered to read to their children, she can be read to without
you do it once and it does it the other 20 times, or whatever. So
I like it.
You know, it is a great little idea, but it's just freaky when it comes on. We've got a few cars and stuff that talk, and the amount of times they've come on in the night and scared the hell out of me. Have you seen those dinosaurs that when they're near each other, they talk to each other?
Robot-y things or real dinosaurs?
Well, they're like dinosaur training toys.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
They're so freaky. I think they move on their own because I was sat. I had a shower the other day, and I went into a room, sat down, looked to my left, and there's a T-Rex just like right next to my face.
Get out of my face! You don't. Yeah, you could have just said right next to my face. You didn't have to get right close to my face to do that.
From my face.
Yeah, like you just were.
And his eyes were level with my eyes.
Imagine how freaked out you were when the dinosaur did that to you. You've just done that to me. You're no more pleasant than a dinosaur toy.
But then they were talking to each other, and I just thought, am I hallucinating? This is bizarre. But they were there. I made my wife check.
Remember Furbies off of the 90s?
Yeah, I do.
My daughters both got a Furby, a modern Furby. Now, obviously, once the batteries ran down for the first time, they didn't bother putting the batteries in again. 160 quid well spent. But because they're modern Furbies, you can play your phone next to them and they'll sing and dance, and there's an app that goes with it, so you can operate parts of it using your phone. But they've got little proximity sensor things on, so if you put the two Furbies near each other, they'll start having a conversation.
I thought they could before. I remember all these rumours that you can make them go feral, you could teach them to swear and all sorts. What did the old ones do? Did they just record stuff?
I think they could sort of communicate before, but these ones, because I guess technology's moved on a little bit, they would sit there opposite in their room. They've got a 8-foot long cabinet thing that's got the TV on, and they've got half each where they've got their stuff on it, and they'd stick their Furby on either ends of this massive cabinet. And because they were on all the time, if there was any kind of noise or sudden movement, one of the Furbies would wake up, and then it would wake the other one up, and you'd start hearing these Furbies having this weird little conversation. Again, in the middle of the night, you're trying to get to sleep, the train's just gone off and woken up Furby number 1, now Furby number 2's chiming in.
Start trying again. Yeah, I know. Let's kill them all.
Yeah. I thought my house was being taken over by robots. And now we've got a little robot that's on a magic... I can't remember what he's called. He's a little robot thing on a magic balancing wheel, and he carries a tray, and apparently you can put a can of Coke on his tray and just set him off on his merry way, and he'll bring the tray to you. You can control him by an app as well.
Nice.
But he got savaged by the dog. So he didn't last very long.
See, all I want to do is teach him to kill all humans, and that's...
You are a human. Idea. You understand that,
yeah, well,
you?
But I'll just... accept me or something like that and see what happens. Do me asking that robotic engineer at the gadget show whether he could get them to turn each other on and off and make other robots, and he was like, no, they'd take over the world. What a coward.
Yeah. Want an extra episode of We're From The Internet every week? Head over to we'refromtheinternet.com/bonus to get an exclusive weekly bonus episode 100% free.